Since we have known a few members of alkanones or ketones, it is very important for us to know how they can be prepared in the laboratory. If I can take you to the preparation of alkanols or aldehydes, you will find out that alkanols or aldehydes are prepared by oxidation of primary alkanols. Mild oxidation of primary alkanols will always give us alkanols or aldehydes. And the oxidizing agent used is potassium heptaoxodichromate 6. But in this case, the question is, are we still using the primary alkanols in order to get alkanones? No. Now, the case here becomes different. So here, instead of using primary alkanols or alcohols, we are using secondary alcohols to prepare alkanones. Oxidation of secondary alcohols will give us ketones or alkanones. I mean, the mild oxidation of secondary alkanols will give us ketones or alkanones. You see what differ when you consider the alkanols and alkanones. Alkanols, primary alkanols, is the starting material, while here in alkanones we have secondary alkanols or alcohols. Okay, so when you use secondary alcohols here, when you oxidize secondary alcohols or mild oxidation of secondary alcohols, you are going to get what? Alkanones. So let us see the equation for the reaction. In the preparation of these alkanones, remember that secondary alkanols have this general molecular formula. This one is the secondary alkanol and this one is the tertiary alkanol. So this is the secondary alkanol. So we are using secondary alkanol as our starting material in this very particular oxidation. So when you oxidize a secondary alkanol in the presence of, we have this oxidizing agent, which all of us we know is potassium heptaoxodichromate 6, is still an important oxidizing agent here. So R, this one is R prime, and this one is H. So going to have ketones, double bond 0. We have our R here, and we have our R prime here. So when you oxidize a secondary, here is a secondary alkanol or secondary alcohol here. And one of the secondary alkanols we know is propane 2 oil. And propane 2 oil is simply, we have this, we have our CH3, we have H here, we have CH3 here. So if you go by this, we are going to have propane 2 oil. We have 1, 2, 3. That is propane 2 oil. Okay. So when we oxidize it in the presence of potassium heptaoxodichromate 6, so we are going to have ketone, which is H3, and we are having water is liberated. Of course, you know that we have a corresponding alkanone is formed. Here is propane 1, propane 2 oil as the secondary alkanol, and a corresponding ketone or alkanone is formed, which is propanone. If you use something like butane 2 oil here, you are going to get a corresponding alkanone, which is butanone. Okay, so when you oxidize secondary alkanols or secondary alcohols, you are going to get alkanones or ketones. While in alkanols, when you oxidize them, when you oxidize primary alkanols or alcohols, you are going to get alkanols. Please see you in my next class.